president of the Moose Lake History Club. Before we take a look forward, please join us as we take a look at our past.
In the 1800s, Moose Lake had largely been settled by Scandinavians looking to work for the railroads. The first school was built in 1875 and classes ran for 3 months in the spring and 3 months in the fall. The teacher even lived in the building. By 1882, the first real schoolhouse was built. Often referred to as the Little White School on the Hill, it soon became too small, and in 1894, a larger four-room school was built. With growing numbers, it became apparent that the school could not sustain its current building, and in 1907, the school board decided to reorganize as an independent school district and take up a larger area. The application process included a judge and eventually an approval with the addition of a high school that fall. The first graduation recorded in Moose Lake School was held on Friday, June 3rd in 1909 in the pavilion by the lake. 8th and 9th graders made up the first graduating class. In 1911, a new school building project began with bonds from the state of Minnesota, voted in at the amount of $10,000. The new school was built on the current grounds. While originally serviced by a collection of one-room country schools, Moose Lake became officially accredited in 1914. Transportation was even provided at that time by a horse-drawn buggy. During the infamous fires of 1918, the school escaped the flames and served as a hospital. In 1919, an addition was built and grades 1 through 6 were housed on the first floor and high school grades on the second floor. The addition cost $55,000 at the time. In 1935, the school burned and classes were held in local churches, the Masonic Temple, the Town Hall, the waiting rooms of the NP Depot, and the town jail. A new school was built and completed in March of 1936. The building cost around $140,000. 3 more small districts or county schools consolidated with Moose Lake that same year. Over the next 20 years, more additions were added to the school. In 1966, voters turned down a building proposal for a new high school, which was to have been south of the state hospital. It failed by 34 votes. The following year, voters turned down the resubmitted building proposal by an even greater margin. In 1971, a $400,000 bond issue was successful and resulted in a new gym, remodel of the garage into a home economics room, locker rooms, and a kindergarten room. A new bus garage was built on the land south of the town. The following year, an additional $100,000 bond was passed to finish the project. In 1986, a new elementary wing and lunch facility was added, along with a remodel of an expanded science department. Space for a separate computer classroom and an elevator to meet federal handicap accessibility regulations was also added. It cost around $3.95 million and was dedicated in 1989. The path to a new school started in May of 2004 with the first of many failed bond referendums. With 744 no votes and 621 yes votes, the dream of a new school was denied. Another attempt was made later that year in September, again with the overall vote of no. Another bond was proposed in February of 2005. The bond was again denied. The proposed bond in 2006 was the closest call, failing by only 17 votes. The dream of a new school hit a stalemate until the flood of 2012. The school was damaged by the flood. Finally, on the 6th referendum, the bond was passed with a 2-to-1 ratio of yes to no votes. Many community members and the Vote Yes group were instrumental in creating a campaign to publicize the new legislation that would provide nearly 60% state funding towards the new building. Groundbreaking for the new building began in the summer of 2015 and was finished in the summer of 2017.
When you first start your educational journey, you begin by walking through these doors. While scary at first, the walls and faces eventually become familiar.
For many years, the elementary had been housed where the high school currently is. With a bond in 1986, an elementary wing was added, and soon Moose Lake Community Schools grew by 24 classrooms. Some of the greatest memories made were not of the building itself, but of the people within the building. Longtime elementary teacher Shirley Carlson reflects on some of her favorite memories.
Well, we always had fun hatching chick eggs in the spring. We kept them incubated for 21 days, and then the kids were always excited to see them hatch, and they always, we drew names to see who they'd go home with. We had Storybook Character Day, which meant they would dress up like storybook or nursery rhyme characters for the day and give us a clue as to what they would be, and we'd try to guess who they were. At graduation, we'd always do a program and do some plays, and the kids would act out caps for sale or the Paper Bag Princess, or the Rainbow Fish, or something fun like that that they had heard during the year. The kids always liked the kickoff once a month, and that was kind of a favorite of everybody because we'd go down to the auditorium and like the big kids, and there'd always be a theme that the school had that we were working on for the month, like respect or responsibility, and we'd have characters that would do some skits, or some of the kids would volunteer to sing a song or do some activity, and those were some of the fun things that hopefully the kids remember them too as good memories.
There will be many transitions throughout your time at Moose Lake. One of the most significant is the transition from elementary to high school.
Longtime high school math teacher Karen Audio reflects on her favorite memories.
Some of my favorite memories from the old building start with the drive into school. Coming into school, especially in the fall when school starts, and Lakeshore Drive, sun coming up in the east, and geese and maybe swans now and then, and pulling into school. And during the school day, my favorite memory would have to be walking the hallways. Beautiful, the Magi tile, and we used to have full oak, full glass doors that we often propped open. That was our only air quality control. And when you walked the halls, you felt you were part of every classroom. I got to see my coworkers teach and all of our students learn, and those are great memories.
More than just classrooms. It's a great space for the community to come together. Our community spaces, such as the gym, weight room, auditorium, library, and community ed center, enhance the educational experience and heighten the togetherness of the Moose Lake community. Thank you to all the people who have supported Moose Lake schools in the past and continue to do so as we start our new journey. On behalf of the staff and students at Moose Lake Community Schools, we'd like to welcome you to our future.